Hi class, I just want to go over the assignment that you have due at the end of course, the final assignment. I talked about this during the Collaborate session, but I want to go over it a little bit more detail. It's due September 16th, so at the very end of week 10. The outline that I give you in the assignment is pretty much what I'm looking for. In part one, I want to see you describe the context, what is it where are you doing this class at, who is going to be attending the class, the course, and what theory or models are you drawing on from what you've learned this quarter in order to do this design, to develop this course? What are the ideas you're bringing in from theory to back up what you're doing and why you're doing it? That's going to be in this first part. That's going to be in this first section. The second section is the syllabus. You've had a syllabus pretty much in every class you've had at any university. Syllabi are an outline of the course. They contain important things like the rubric, course description. They include the assignments that are being graded, usually the weight of the assignments, the rubrics, how the grades are calculated, what is the passing for the course. They also contain all the policies related to the course, including ethical policies, behaviors in the class, plagiarism, cheating, attendance. All of these things are what are included in the syllabus. And so you're welcome to look at other syllabi and see how those policies are written and adapt those policies to your context. The important thing is what I'm going to be looking for is what policies did you bring in? What policies are missing? If I was a student in your class, what would I or wouldn't I know about that class based on what you've presented? Also, you want to make sure that you plan for things like if you're going to do team activities, how are the team activities going to be graded? If you're going to be doing participants grading each other, what are the rules for that? What about respect and those kind of things? You're going to want to bring all that into the syllabus. And then for part 3, you're going to be designing lesson plans. And lesson plans, you're going to do 2 of them. And so if you're doing a course that has classes, you're going to plan for 2 of the classes. If you're doing a training that has sessions, you're going to plan for 2 of the sessions. The idea is that you're going to look at whatever outcome you're planning for. So if you have a course that has 3 outcomes, 2 classes may only cover 1 outcome. 3 classes may cover 1 outcome. In this course, we have 3 outcomes. There's 10 weeks. The outcomes are divided among the 10 weeks. If you're doing a 3-day training and you have 1 outcome for each day, then you're gonna do a lesson plan for each outcome. But if you're doing a course and you have several classes building towards 1 outcome, you can pick 2 of those classes that build towards that 1 outcome and detail them. What you're going to be telling me is, what is the essential learning focus of the class? What is the object or the objectives of the class? What experiences are you expecting the students to have? What kind of accommodations are you going to do for diversity? What kind of assignment strategies are you going to have? Why are you doing what you're doing? How are you building up to the summative assessments? How are you using formative assessments? Those kind of things all need to be included in this instructional plan. Also, what resources are you going to need? Are you going to need pens, paper? You're going to need a certain kind of space. If you're doing an online course, then I'm going to want to know how are you going to build the online session or the online course? What are the components that you're going to add in? Is there going to be a synchronous session? Is there going to be an asynchronous section? What are you requiring for the students to participate? What are you requiring for the instructor to participate? So you're going to plan out that. For example, if I was designing a course to be completely online, following the model we have here at CityU, my lesson plan would basically be the plan for a module. So each module in this course is a lesson plan for how I want you to learn what you're supposed to learn in order to be able to do the summative and formative assessment that week, or the summative assessment whenever it's due, and the formative assessment that week that builds to the summative assessment. So this is what you're going to cover in the lesson plan part. So think about it like that. If you're doing an online training, then it would be a module in that training. If you're doing an online class, it'd be a module in the class. If you're doing a 10-week class, you need to spell that out in part one, and then you need to tell me, what are your lesson plans covering? Are they covering an in-person class? Are they covering an online week? Are they covering a training session, like a few-hour training one day? The scope will depend on what your context is, but you need to be clear about that scope, and you need to be clear about how you're planning things out. Clearly, if you have a class like it's going to be a 8-hour class, an all-day kind of training, or an all-day class with students in it, you're going to have to plan for some free time, for some breaks. You're going to have to plan how are you going to entertain these students for 8 hours. I mean, you've got to think about that. Every minute of that time needs to be thought out. And that's going to be in the lesson plan part of it. So the syllabus is really is a document in and of itself that is something you can find example of all over online. Part one is going to be the academic part, where you're writing a paper basically and telling me the theories that you're using. Part three is going to be a lesson plan, and a lesson plan can be, in a table format. It could be a chart. It could be a mind map. How you're developing this plan for the students for the day. But you're going to do 2 of those. So keep in mind that I want to see, that chart left that shown to me, what your lessons are. So everything should build. I should know from part one, what's your scope? What are you doing? Are you doing a 3-week training? Are you doing a 2-day training? What are you doing? Are you doing classes? Are there modules? How are you spanning that out? Who is the person that you're doing this for? Are they adult learners? Are they basic education people? Are they college students, adult college students? Who's your audience? And then what theories are you bringing in to do what you do? That's part one. Part two is the syllabus. You have a syllabus in this class you can look at to give you some inspiration of what a syllabus looks like. And then part three would be the lesson plans. And you can have all this in one document, that's fine. Just make sure you have clear headings for each of the sections of the documents. Part one, introduction, that should be that. Part two, syllabus, then put the syllabus underneath it. Part three, lesson plan 1, lesson plan 2. Simple as that. Let me know if you have any further questions, and have a great week. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Get some time out there in the sun. Enjoy your weekend.